So in the speaker's, that punishment he actually gave on the floor, he said, part of the statement, point 12, clause A, in the circumstances of the absence of the Privileges Committee and Immunity Committee, a 7-member special committee shall be constituted under the Orders 5 and 20 Rule 4 to conduct a full-scale investigation into the events yesterday. So what is the circumstance of the absence of the privileges?
Because we haven't, you see, the 9th Parliament, we have only about 3 committees. The Appointments Committee, the Selection Committee, and I think which other committee? And Business Committee. These are the only 3 committees that we have constituted. The Selection Committee was constituted so that they can at least establish the Business and the Appointments Committee, because the Business Committee is what schedules the business, all the businesses that we do. Then the Appointments Committee vets the nominees from the President. And so these 3 committees have been formed. And the Speaker is the chair of the Selection Committee, because the committees are Mr. Speaker's committees. We describe the committees as Mr. Speaker's committees.
These
that is why
that have been instituted.
All committees in Parliament are described as Mr. Speaker's committee. And the Selection Committee, which forms the committees, is chaired by Mr. Speaker. Because it is done so because all the committees are Mr. Speaker's committees. So the Appointment Committee is Mr. Speaker's committee. The Business Committee is Mr. Speaker's committee. Defense and Interior is Mr. Speaker's committee. Public Accounts Committee is Mr. Speaker's committee. But Mr. Speaker cannot chair all the committees. So that is why members are made to be in there and then to chair. So he chairs the Selection Committee. And that Selection Committee is what forms all the select and standing committees of the House. But they haven't done so for all the other committees except Business Committee and the Appointments Committee. So as we speak now, we do not have the Privileges and Immunities Committee yet. Indeed, per these new standing orders, if you are vetting a nominee, say for example you are vetting maybe the Minister for Interior, the leadership of the Defense and Interior Committee should be present. Indeed, the leadership of the Intelligence and Security Committee should also have been present. But we adopted a principle that those leaders who were functioning in the 8th Parliament, if they are still present and are on those committees, should represent their side. Where they are not, the majority side should identify who the potential leaders for that committee will be. And the minority side should do same and submit those names to the chair of the Appointment Committee so those persons can sit as subject expert committee members. So this is what has been happening. That's how we have worked. But when the disciplinary matter arose, because we didn't have that committee, Mr. Speaker came under Order 5 and Order 24, which deals with ad hoc committees, to form an ad hoc committee to deal with based on the interpretation.
So it's not the case of replacing Privileges Committee?
No. The Privileges Committee has not been formed. It's not been constituted yet. Even though it exists as a committee in Parliament, it's not been constituted yet. So Order 5 talks about interpretation, and that Mr. Speaker is allowed the right to interpret, and where no provision is available, he makes provision for that. So he relies on Order 5, which gives him that mandate, and Order 24, which talks about ad hoc committee, to establish this ad hoc committee to go into the matter and report once we work to form the Privileges Committee.
So yesterday, I had the chance to speak with the chairman of this ad hoc committee, Ebenezer Bejira, who has also indicated that I think they started collating and collecting the evidences and the videos. And he claims, or he says, that they're going to have a hearing, a public hearing, an open hearing. So it means that you'd have a chance, to have a feel of how the whole investigation is going to go. He has also promised to, grant us some interviews. I'm sure we'll do that in the right time. But Mr. Ahiagbah, Why are you shaking your head? You don't want us to have the interview with the chairman of the
committee?
committee?
No, feel free. I mean, I don't have a problem.
Why did you shake your head?
Well, my head is mine. I shake it when I want to.
Oh no, you can't be shaking like somebody I know.
You are shaking your head?
No.
He's shaking like his boss.
No, you can't be shaking your head like somebody I know.
He's shaking like his boss.
Okay. So next time I do anything with myself, I ask you.
Do you have some responses?
Yeah, I mean, I think that
so we take a quick break.
we need to come to terms with what we have. Okay, this whole thing where the NDC is still lost in the excitement of the election and thinks that they can do anything. Right?
Are you also lost?
The tendency. Oh no, I felt
in the
no.
You are lost in the
of the
defeat.
gap.
No. But
You are lost in the defeat.
No, but you know this. Before 2024, there was 2016, right? Where we thought that it was unprecedented, and then 2024 happened. The probabilities are that there's a level that can happen again. All these things are possible. So I am not.
You use it's possible, and then you were heavily defeated. You are using possible again.
Well, possible doesn't stop being a language. It's our faith that guides us to move forward. So what I think we need to all realize is to be sober about this thing. After the election, there's governance. The NDC must realize that they can't govern this country alone. Okay? In 1992, 93, the first parliament, they had the opportunity to be there by themselves and did all that they did. At that point, it was clear there was no opposition in parliament, and so therefore... There was
opposition in parliament.
Well,
Say you boycotted.
But
it didn't mean that there was no
opposition.
opposition.
But you know what I'm saying.
The Ahiagbahs, the actually was, and all those persons were in parliament.
I beg you.
They were all in parliament.
I beg you. But I'm just saying, I'm speaking as MPP, so when I say that, I should
So
know that.
say MPP you were not.
But that's what I am saying. That's what I'm saying. If you want to say there were opposition, say that. But the point I am saying is that at that point, but it's not factual that MPP was not in parliament.
So say MPP boycotted.
If you are heckling him.
No, I'm not heckling him. We must not allow him. You see, there are some young persons. If somebody was born in 92, today that person will be about 30 how many years? About 32.
It's okay, it's fine.
About 32 years.
I've been allowing you to
the person may not know this situation. So you start taking there was no opposition. So he must tell the fact that the MPP as a party boycotted.
You can say that. When I finish saying that, you can say that.
No, it's not for me to say.
We are not in a classroom here. I am saying that in the first parliament, there was no opposition.
Because
MPP boycotted.
Because there was no opposition.
There was opposition.
There was no opposition. You can say so. So they had the time, they did whatever they want to do, right? Now, in this parliament, regardless of our numbers, there is opposition, effective opposition in parliament.
Because you're there.
We're there. And so the fact that you have the numbers, if you go on and want to do things by yourself, it will affect Ghana's democratic credentials. That you are abusing, yes, the opposition. Okay. If they run roughshod over the opposition, assuming that night the MPP members of the committee decide to walk away, it will dent Blackwa's vetting. As a vetting, now just partisan vetting, right? Oh, wow. I'm just saying. I mean, you can quibble about it, but I'm saying that if you are a Blackwa who want legitimacy, if you, Sam George, want legitimacy, okay, out of your vetting that I went there and I was vetted, the idea that, he's our man, I'll congratulate you, you are welcome, we know you can do this, all those praise singing is what you go to sit there as a foreign affairs minister designate, and your colleagues from the NDC are saying, we know you can do the job, and that's your vetting? You walk away feeling proud?
So that's not vetting, eh?
No, is that vetting?
So you didn't vet the education minister?
But I'm just saying, I mean, just keep going.
He's asking you a question.
I'm just saying
that we've had such instances in the past.
But I'm saying,
even judges sitting at the Supreme Court, they were vetted by one side.
Why are you so?
Your description.
I am saying that. I am just telling you. Is that vetting? Is that vetting? Is that vetting?
So it wasn't
It's
vetting.
not vetting.
Is that vetting I'm asking? Is it?
It
is not.
I'm also asking questions.
Because
now.
what is vetting? If you explain it, because you are supposed to come
so
there
we like
and be
you.
inquired.
We know you will succeed.
Yes.
It's not
yeah,
vetting.
yeah, that's not.
Okay.
If that was the case, why did the person come there? Because you know beforehand that he could do the job. So I'm saying that if I am Sam George, if I am Ablakwa Akando, I won't appreciate the fact that I go there and you, my friends, will tell me, oh, yeah. So why do I come there? Okay. It takes the value of the exercise away. So right now, you need a minority to work for the purposes of advancing our democracy. So the NDC majority must come to terms with the fact that despite the fact that they have the numbers, they must work with the minority. And that is what is going to give legitimacy to their rule. That is what is going to enhance our democracy. That is what is going to make Parliament be strong. They cannot begin with the tendency of trying to say we have the numbers. On that night, you heard people say, oh, go, we can do it. And if they put it to vote, they'll win. And because they have the numbers. But you see, is that the right thing to do? Is that a reasonable thing to do? Is that a democratic thing to do? Is that a consensus?
Do I get the sense that because you suppose you don't have the right numbers, to make your case heard, you have decided to choose a path of being violent and chaotic?
What is necessary to do is for the NDC, and this is exactly what I'm saying, the majority to recognize that we cannot take the minority for granted. We need to work.
So is that
and
the
you
path
know
you have
that,
chosen?
you see, it is they who must exercise that responsibility.
Ooh.
It is they, the majority, that must bring the minority along.
And if they don't?
And when the minority is acting in good faith with you, if in fact, look at the issue to do with Oliver Bakavomao. The MPP side on the committee took it personal, even though those allegations were narrowed to the NDC members of the committee. The last time this thing happened, it was partisan. People turned around and said, oh, MPP was sharing money and all of that. They could quite simply take a position to say, NDC people are corrupt, they're taking money, and then that can be a political thing we take up against them. But they stood in solidarity with them, made sure the issue was addressed. This is a group of people who are determined to work. When they say that at 10 p.m. we are tired, be reasonable. If the committee had acted...
my question, I want to take a break, but my question
is... The committee, let me just finish, can I ask you a question?
If
the committee leadership, the chair, and the NDC leadership on the committee, if they had acted reasonably and said, look, these are a group of people who are not obstructive, who have promised they're not going to be obstructive, they'll be reasonable, and they've showed up here anytime we want them. And at 10 p.m. they say they are tired. This vetting or not vetting tonight is not going to break anything. Please, let's indulge them and move on.
And
I think that will not have been here.
And if they don't, you will go chaotic and obstructive? Is that your option?
Adi,
this time you're not going to walk away. You actually will stay and be chaotic. Is that the plan?
No, I don't know that. That is hypotheticals that you are saying, given the fact that the committee leadership would have been reasonable beforehand. Then you would know. Anything else that is possibility in the future wouldn't have happened. Okay. I'm just saying that just 1 minute. If people say that we're tired, let's stop. And you know that this is somebody who is reasonable and has been reasonable with me. And so when he says this at this point, let me also reciprocate that and then be reasonable, and then we have a close and continue tomorrow. I don't think that all of these things would have happened.
Okay.
And that's where I say the majority must take responsibility.
In July 2024, even with 137 members
you keep
of Parliament,
going back. We are here and you are going back.
Richard Ahiagbah, as Director of Communication, his side decided to go ahead to vet the Deputy Minister nominees, even when our side boycotted with equal numbers.
And it happened.
Okay. The judges and then the rest, they presented the report.
Okay.
Today he's sitting here and...
what
kind of double standard is this?
No, that's not double
what
standard.
What kind of double standard
that is expecting to do
what?
For the right thing to be done.
So you knew you were doing the wrong thing then?
No, we're not talking about that.
So
if you want
you
to
knew
talk
you were
about
doing the wrong thing then? When we had
so first of all, you accept what has been done here wrong, then you can go back there. What we're talking about today, you are going back yesterday.
I haven't said it's wrong. I have talked about quorum. that we use quorum once we commence business. We use quorum.
And we have the quorum. We can
and we
go
have the
ahead.
quorum. We can
If
go
you
ahead.
are tired, you can't use your fewer numbers to disrupt everything.
Thank you. Since that's the position you want
No,
to take.
It's not
I'm telling you.
Because the point I'm saying is that
we use quorum.
No, it's not.
We don't see there that otherwise we will not use numbers in Parliament to form committees.
Quorum. Okay.
Anyway, you can do 24-hour vetting. Maybe that's what you want to do. So go and do it.